Good evening, folks. My name is Frederick. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to maneuver around the borough Queens using transit, and that pretty much is in reference to the subways. And I'm basically going to try to give you the most direct route. This is in reference to people coming from, say, the Bronx or Bronx and Westchester, people coming from Brooklyn, and people coming from Staten Island. Not so much just going into Manhattan because our system is Manhattan based. Why am I doing this video? Okay, a typical Brooklynite might say, I don't like going to Queens because you have to take the bus. Well, I mean, if you look at their system, well, some areas you have to take a bus to the subway, so that's not the issue. Or persons from the or another case scenario, I don't like going to Queens because it's so hard to get out there. Well, we have to make things a little easy for you. So this video is going to give you step by step most direct routes, and it's going to be a breakdown of areas based on subway lines, based on nearest subway lines and everything. But a breakdown of areas of what alternatives you should take from specific boroughs of the city, and in order to go there. And I'm going to include Nassau County as well. For starters, you're going to need a Metro card, like this. You're going to need a Metro card. This is a monthly unlimited. I usually buy the monthly unlimited because is this way I can maneuver the transit system a lot easier, and it helps with the transfers. Like if I need to make 2 transfers, things like that, it's very helpful in that case. The paper ride Metro card, I mean, it's like you give you bus to subway to bus, but what happens is with a paper ride Metro card, if you have the way the subway system is, and then if you have to go to a specific bus route which only connects to a specific subway line, what chances are using the paper route Metro card to save money, you're going to wind up going in circles just to connect with that bus line to go to your destination. So I'm going to pretty much advise you use the unlimited Metro card unless you can't afford it. But I'm going to give you the most direct route possible. But this is the first thing you need. Another key note with the paper route Metro card: it's only one transfer. It's only one transfer between the bus and subway bus, unless you're in certain areas where they give you 2 transfers. Nassau County to give you 2 transfers using the Metro card. And depends on some routes, they give you 2 transfers to the subway. The next thing you need are MTA maps. Okay, this is a New York City subway map and a Long Island Railroad map. But we're going to focus on the subway more or less because it's a more affordable transit. Okay, New York City. We're going to look at the subway page as you can see. I'm going to show you. This is the New York City subway map, and we're going to focus on the areas of Queens. This is what you need as far as travel, because you need the basic knowledge of the subway system. Next up, after that, it's a bus map. Okay, this is for the borough of Queens. It's very important that you have a Queens bus map. You can log online to see the MTA.info to see a Queens bus map. You can pick it up at certain areas. You may pick it at a bus route, or you may pick it up at the MTA offices. But this is a Queens bus map. This will help you out, guide you through the areas of Queens. Like I say, if you need to go from certain parts of Queens to another part, or if you need bus service to a subway station or whatever, this is helpful. Okay. These are the bus maps. Well, this one is the oldest one, but these are bus transit maps for the other boroughs. I included Manhattan, but like the Bronx is BX, Brooklyn is BK, Manhattan is M. Okay, Staten Island will have a letter S, it'll be black with a letter S. But these are for the other boroughs. Okay, so this is very important. Okay, this is a nice bus map. This is for Nassau County. Okay, some of the Nassau County routes connect with the subway system. So it's very important that you have this as well. If you have to go all the way to Nassau County and you can't afford the LIRR. Okay, and last but not least, okay, even though this is written as bad, this is a Westchester County B-line system map. Okay, it's very important. This is very important. Say if you're in Westchester County and you need to go to Queens, because for one, if you're in Westchester County and you need to go to Queens, for starters, you will need to go through the Bronx. So it's a subway system, and then the Bronx bus map and things like that. This is this is very important. You need this as well. So these are the second things that you need. Okay, the next thing you need is you need a PC and Google Maps. Okay, now I'm gonna show you some, as I did in my last video, but talking about how to go from JFK. It's like a floor of Google Maps. I just plugged in a travel itinerary, say from 179th Street, Jamaica to Luna. Since this is like a sample of what we're talking about. Once to Luna Park Lights, which is in Coney Island. Okay, it's gonna tell you to take the F train, as they say, but it's going which is the whole route from end to end. But looking at the route, the F it's going to send you all the way to Manhattan and then all the way before going into Brooklyn and down. It don't make any sense. That don't make any sense because because nobody is going to take a long indirect route, and I'm going to and some of the itineraries they tell you to take the railroad, which is quite faster, which I'll show you. Even though a lot of people can't afford the railroad, but they're gonna tell you to take the railroad and then switch to the Cube. Which is more sensible, and they say that takes about an hour and 34 minutes. Okay, this one is gonna say it takes an hour and 45 minutes, so to speak. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you this, as this is a sample. We're gonna cut out these indirect routes, and we're gonna use the most affordable transit possible, because and as I'm going to mention on a future segment, we're gonna plug in the most direct routes because we're talking about areas. So this is one sample that I'm showing. On how indirect the travel is. If you have paper ride, MetroCard, and everything. So yeah, folks, a keynote with Google Maps, you may want to click Schedule Explorer. Schedule Explorer gives you, by clicking that, it gives you many more options. You may want to click other forms of transit as well, but you may want to click Schedule Explorer. That is pretty much helpful. But sometimes, I will have to give you a more. Well, what I'm gonna do is give you a more in-depth travel plan, because to show the most direct route, so you could be more general, and which it kind of will deviate from what Google Maps generally says. What we're going to do is break down Queens to the following segments or train lines. Okay, one will be the North Shore of Queens, which is the Flushing line, the number 7, which is Flushing line, the number 7 line. That's part 1. Part 2, it's the Queens Blvd line. As you can see, the Queens Blvd line is the E, F, M, and R. That's going to be broken up in 2 parts. Part 1 will be for the Southeast Queens segment, since it's the letter order, the letter E, and part 2 will be the Central Eastern Queens segment, which is the F, which runs Hillside Avenue. Okay, some maybe merge into each other, but it's we're gonna focus. That's what we're gonna focus on. So when I say Southeast, it's like Southern and Eastern Queens, everything area. Okay, Part 3 is going to be the Jamaica line, which is the J and the Z. The J and the Z line, as you can see right there. Okay, we're going to focus on that as part 3, and that's going to be engulfing with the E line, with both the Queens Blvd line and the 7 line as well. That's part 3. Part 4, it's going to be the Middle Village line, the M. As you see it, in case you want the M, also runs Queensville, but the Queens Blvd line, but we're gonna focus on the Middle Village line, which is the M. Okay, right now you see the structure, but we're gonna focus on that at part 4, and the final one is gonna be the A line, which goes into the Rockaways. Okay, if this is based on areas. These are the 5 areas that we're gonna focus on regarding the Queens Transit and the subway. Segment 2 is the Queens Blvd line. This is part 1 of the Queens Blvd line, which will focus on the Southeast Queens segment. As you can see, this is an E line timetable.
Okay, anybody going to Southeast Queens, that's primarily Cambridge Heights, Laurelton, such areas. Anybody going to Southeast Queens? Okay, we're gonna we're gonna somewhat break up this line a bit, because I somewhat break up this line a bit as far as travel advisory. Yes, the E runs between Jamaica Center and World Trade Center, which totals out as a 55-minute ride from end to end. Okay. What we're gonna do, since this is focused on Southeast Queens, it's I my main advisory is mostly between Jamaica and Midtown. So the cutoff point would be no further than Spring Street, no further south than Spring Street. Okay, when we go to the F line, some of you will be merged into the E line, going, and they'll be going as far down as the World Trade Center. The reason is because we're going to advise a different travel pattern at the Canal Street and World Trade Center stations. We're going to advise a different travel pattern. This is mostly via the borough of Brooklyn. The main reasons is so that, like, people that go to work, we want them to be on the other side of the East River during those hours, so they don't have to deal with the congestion through Midtown and then the congestion on Queens Boulevard. So we'll do it that way for Southeast Queens. When we go to the Central Eastern Queens, which is dealing with the Hillside Avenue branch, the F line, we won't be able to do that. We'll have to focus on that as like an exclusive. But this is the Southeast Queens portion of the Queens Blvd line. And okay, the frequency for the E line based on this schedule. Okay, as you can see, during rush hours is about every 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, during the midday hours it averages out to about every 7 minutes. Every 7 minutes, a train every 7 minutes. During the evenings is a train every 10 minutes. During late nights is every 20 minutes. On Saturdays, they average out to about every 7.5 minutes. I mean 7 to 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes. And during the evenings, it's about every 10 to 12 minutes. On Sundays, they run every 10 minutes. And during the evenings, about every 15 minutes. That's how long you should expect to wait for a knee train. We're not going to go into the F schedule, but they do run hand in hand. But those two lines run hand in hand along the Queens Boulevard corridor. And when we talk Southeast Queens, we're talking this area right here. Which means we're dealing with the following bus routes that connect with the E line, as well as the Genius, but mainly the E. We're talking about the following bus routes: the Q4, which travels Linden Boulevard; the Q5, which travels Merrick Boulevard; the N4, which travels Merrick Road. That's the Jamaica to Freeport line; the Q6, which travels Sutphin Boulevard; the Q9, which travels the Van Wyck Expressway and Lincoln Street. And then we're talking about, Q9. The Q42, which is the Addis Lake Park to Jamaica Center route. the Q the Q83, which is Murdoch Avenue, Liberty Avenue, Jamaica to Cambria Heights. The Q84, which is Merrick Boulevard, 120th Avenue, Jamaica to Laurelton. The Q85, which is Jamaica to Roselle / Green Acres, via Bedell Street Conduit. The Q111, 113, and 114, which is Guy Brewer routes. Those are the primary focus. Some routes that will be inclusive to the E line, advisory, will be the Q41, and then it's the Q, and then bring it up to Q Garners will be the Q10 and the Q37. Okay, mind you, the Q10 and Q37 both connect with the A train at Lefferts Boulevard, but we're gonna talk. But the reason I'm gonna focus on talk about the Q10 and Q37 is that's not for so much for a Midtown. That's mainly for a Long Island City. Okay, because when you're dealing with the A line territory, like the A line territory is totally different when it's talking about as far as coming out of Manhattan. But that is as far as the Long Island City portion. Okay, this is an E train arriving. This is the train you take to go to Midtown Manhattan. If you're going to Midtown Manhattan, up like all the way down to say at least 14th Street or no further than West 4th Street, no further south than West 4th Street or Spring Street. You use it along Queens Blvd because it's an express. This is line you use to go to, if you're going to, like say Harlem, you need to transfer in Midtown to a B or a D train between the Harlem. If you're going to Inwood, like Washington Heights and Inwood, you transfer to a B or D train to 59th Street or 125th Street, and then you transfer to the A train. Why I'm saying this, okay, the A train goes from Howard Beach directly, but you don't want to go to Brooklyn. So this is your better option going to those parts of Manhattan. If you're going to the Bronx, south of 161st Street, which includes Hunts Point, you would take this into Manhattan and transfer to a Bronx-bound train, be it the 6 if you're going towards Hunts Point, the 6 at Lexington Avenue, 53rd Street, that's a 51st Street stop. Or if you're going to say 149th Street, 3rd Avenue, around the hub, which is a work area, you would take this to Queens Plaza, transfer to the R, one stop to Lexington, and transfer to the number 5. The number 4 goes by Hostos College. Yankee Stadium, you would take this to 7th Avenue, transfer to the B or the D. You would transfer to the B train during the PM rush hour because the D bypasses Yankee Stadium. So the B train is a little slower trip. This you should be in Midtown about 40 minutes. Okay, this is important. This is the way to the buses. We're going to the bus stop for the Q44 Select. Ignore these taxi people. This is for those who's traveling to the Bronx. Most areas of the Bronx. The subway is not going into the Bronx directly from here. Even though it serves the Bronx, it's going to the map, it's not going to the Bronx from here. So if you want to go to the Bronx, you need the Q44 bus. It looks like this. But that's going the opposite direction. Looks just like this one, but it's going the opposite direction. Okay, here we are at the bus stop for the Q44 Select. But this is like, oh, because of construction, we have to go to, because of construction, we're going to have to go to something else. But this is normally the bus stop. Yeah, so they moved the key up. They're doing construction, so we're going to have to go one block north. This is good to know as a transit service up there. We're crossing in about a few seconds. Okay, we're at the next bus stop, the alternate bus stop for the Q44 Select bus. As you can see, there's a map here giving me the route. As you can see, this is a direct route to the Bronx. I mean, it's called bus rapid transit because because there's no subway line going directly from here to the Bronx, and this is the most direct route. In order, it's not this bus. For the Q44 bus select, which you have to pay here. Okay, you will push this, and then you will search your Metro card, and then you will get a receipt here. You know, this the one that takes change only. And it's important that you have a receipt. And when the bus arrives, you can enter at any door, but you must have a receipt. So just in case if a cop comes, you know, you show the receipt. If they don't, they're gonna pull you off the bus. We'll wait. Okay, here comes a Q44 Select. You see, turning around at the corner. This is a Jamaica bound one in front of us. Bear in mind, note, those of you in the Bronx, because of construction, this will be the stop you get off at to transfer to the air train. Other keynote. Other keynotes. Those of you going to Westchester County, or those of you that need the number 2, the number 5, or the number 6 train, or you just pretty much need most of the Bronx, north of East 161st Street, and west of Riverdale. You know, the sections of Bronx south of East 161st Street, which includes Hunts Point, will be excluded for this. We're excluded for this advisory because it's like you're going to Harlem. But north of East 161st Street and west of Riverdale, the advisory is to take this Q44 bus. As you can see, you can enter at any door. Let's go. You can enter any door, which speeds up the boarding process. This was once unlimited, but now they turned it to a select bus. The Q20 is the local version of the route, and it has Wi-Fi USB on it. Also, those of you that need Metro North, you need to use this Q44 bus to either Castle Hill for the BX22 or the West Farm Square for the BX9, so you can go to Fordham Plaza. That's where you will catch the Metro North service going up. B-line service, you can catch it at Pelham Parkway on the 2, or you can catch it towards the terminals on the 2, the 5, and the 6. And you can also transfer to the Q50 in downtown Flushing, which will take you to Co-op City and Pelham Bay Park area for B-line bus.
driving Joe by myself on my phone. Pay the next stop. Just pay the next stop. Just pay the next stop.
It's kind of cool. I mean, I wouldn't have do it down here.
As you can tell, we're on a Jamaica train. This is the only train that rises above the Van Wyck Expressway. This is us leaving the airport. Here we are. About this line, this train, it speeds through the neighborhoods. Where we normally ride the buses to the subway, this will speed through the neighborhoods above the Van Wyck Expressway. Here we are at Jamaica Station.
With connections to the LIRR, E, J, and Z train service. Please take your belongings.
As you can see, those are the Long Island Railroad stations over there.
Chris, stop. Chris.
train is a Jamaica train, stopping at Federal Circle for hotel shuttles and rental cars, and all airline terminals.
As you can see, as we exit the train, okay, you need to follow the signs. Okay, that you have to pay the air train fare to exit. If you want Midtown Manhattan, it's the subway, it's the E train, or you can take the Long Island Railroad, which takes you to Long Island as well. The J and the Z train is also available, and for the Bronx, it says buses, you will have to take the Q44 Select. Terminal for the Q5. As you can see, this bus every night of service is about to go in service on the Q5 Limited. This is the Rosedale Long Island Railroad Station. See a train Far Rockaway has just entered the station. It takes about 35 minutes from here to Penn Station or Atlantic Terminal in Brooklyn on a railroad. Estimated 90 minutes via local bus to the subway or express bus on the X63. Department of Jamaica.
This is a Q85. Limited bus to Jamaica Center. Most of these bus routes in Southeast Queens take between 30 and 45 minutes to take you to downtown Jamaica for connection to the EJZ line for Manhattan, Brooklyn, and for connection Q44 to the Bronx. Looks like we're gonna have a bunching issue today. Most people over here take the 111 to downtown Jamaica because it's faster. Last and first stop for the Q84 bus. As you can see, it's turning right now. They usually lay over for a few minutes. Here's one coming into the terminal. It's the Q4 line.
This is the Q85 to Green Acres. One of the RTS buses here. This is a important north-south route in southeast Queens, the Q3. As you can see, it's coming out of JFK Airport. It's a major work route for us in southeast Queens, as many of us work inside the airport, or we work downtown Jamaica. A lot of us don't go to the subway. So this is an important line for us in southeast Queens. And here's a Q6 bus. Important to carry people to the subway. Now you see the people coming off the Q3, they're gonna travel to the Q6 because they were coming out the airport. The main reason they do it because the Q6 is a faster route to downtown Jamaica. It's a faster route to downtown Jamaica than the Q3. Places here. You got the DMV about 2 blocks from here. The garage for the Q6 is right behind me, JFK Depot. As you can see, he's passing by some idle buses there. Rockaway line. There's the 111 that followed it. This is my home line at Q84. We're in St. Albans, Queens. But this portion, it's closer to the E train, the E at Jamaica Center, as well as the J and the Z. We have all the connections to Jamaica, but this is the best route.
That bus is terminal and full.
This is a Q10 bus, Q10 local. This travels via Lefferts Boulevard, as you see on the sign. If you mental note, pay attention to the signs. If you at Lefferts Boulevard Station on the air train, the Q10 local will not stop there because it runs Rockaway Boulevard. That's the Q10 Limited, which runs straight up Lefferts Boulevard. If you need a Q10 local, you need to either get off here or you need to go to Federal Circle. Now to the Queens Blvd Line Part 2, which is the second part of the second segment. As you can see, the
F timetable. This is we dealing with Central Eastern Queens. We're no longer dealing with the Southeastern Queens. We're dealing with Central Eastern Queens. Okay. As I stated earlier, the F line from end to end runs from Jamaica 179th Street to Coney Island. But we're gonna cut this in half. The travel direction the furthest we're gonna look at the F line for the Queens end is up to East Broadway. We're gonna look from Jamaica 179 to East Broadway. We're not gonna look at the Brooklyn segment. Any travel directions requiring the Brooklyn segment, we're gonna put you on the J. More likely we'll put you on the J or the G line, depending on where you are on the F. Okay. But other than that, we'll look at to look at the run time. They say that it takes close to an hour and 40 minutes to complete. Hour and 30 minutes to complete a trip from 179th Street to Stillwell Avenue to Coney Island. Cut that in half. We're gonna look at like Broadway Lafayette. It's about an hour from 179 to Broadway Lafayette. And then, we're gonna look at the frequency. Okay. The F train runs about every 4 or 5 minutes at rush hour. On an average of every 7 minutes during middays. About every 10 minutes during evenings. And every 20 minutes during late nights. That's on weekdays. On Saturdays and Sundays, they run every 10 minutes, as you can see. And during the evenings, about every 12 to 15 minutes. And some of these F-line riders, it'll be a big surprise. Also E-line riders, because they transferred Union Turnpike. Okay, some people. These are pretty much the E-line riders that actually go into Lower Manhattan. Mainly because it's a better option for them than trying to going for the J train, because the bus doesn't connect with the J train. And plus it's like a ride buddy for the Southeast Queens people like myself. It's a ride buddy at times. Person that lives on the F line, it's like a ride buddy to ride the E, since you both on the Queens Blvd line, and it's both going to Jamaica. Some of the E's go to 179 during rush hour, but that's a different story. It's like a ride buddy up to Union Turnpike. And then before we could distinguish ourselves as who's Central Eastern Queens, who's Southeast Queens. Let's make a mental note. Okay, Union Turnpike is also a stop which connects with the Q46 bus, which takes you to Central Eastern Queens. And then the last one we're gonna look at, which also like centralized Queens, will be Forest Hills, that connects with the Q64 bus, which goes to Electchester. Okay, the Q88 runs to Central Eastern Queens, but that is a local stop. It's like it's bypassed by both the E and the F. That's at Rego Park. That's in Rego Park, Elmhurst area, Woodhaven Blvd by Queens Center Mall. Okay, the area Central Eastern Queens we're gonna concentrate on is right here. Primarily from like Hollis Avenue, between Hollis Avenue and Union Turnpike. Maybe like a border, the south part of 73rd Avenue. But that's what we're gonna concentrate on. Okay, the bus lines we're gonna focus on are as follows. Out of Jamaica, it's the Q1, the Q2, some of the Q3. We're not gonna look at all of it, but it's some of the Q3. Some of the Q17, not all of it, but it's like maybe up to, say, Union Turnpike, some of the Q17. The Q36, full route, which might include some of the Little Neck Parkway service. The Q43. The Q46, okay, that's not out of Jamaica, but that goes to Kew Gardens. That's a Central Queens route. The Q76, portion of it, maybe up to no further than 73rd Avenue. A portion of the Q77 route. The Q110 as a critical look. We didn't look at it. We haven't. The main reason because there's a rush hour service on the Q110 which connects with the F at 179. We didn't look at the Q110 on the first segment, even though it connects with the E, because it's a Central Eastern Queens route, and it feeds into the J line, just like the Q43 feeds into the J line. But these are the routes that we're gonna look at, and then we're gonna also look at the nice bus routes, which are the N1, which only runs rush hour, but N1, N6. N22, N24, N20, N26, and N22 includes N22A. Those are the routes we're going to look at.
And now for the buses.
Q2 line. As a major service distinguisher, I'm going to show you the N6 bus which takes you to Hempstead. The reason I'm showing this because in this area of Queens, which is the terminal for the Q2 and the Q110, this is the only nice bus is the only direct service you have from this area to Green Acres Mall. As I haven't stated on the Q83 portion, they have a real issue going
trying to go to the Green Acres Mall from the terminal, because they will have to pay double fare. They will have to pay double fare with the 3 buses just to connect with a service to Green Acres Mall. But this is the only service to the Green Acres Mall if you from this area. You go on to Rosedale. Going to Rosedale, on the other hand, you know, it's still the difficult trip, the 3 buses. If you don't want to go through downtown Jamaica, the long route. And to go to the Rockaways, you may want to try to use Nice Bus as well. Connect with the 3132 in Lynbrook via the N25 using this bus. This is a Q1 about to go into service right here. He didn't put a sign up as of yet. There it is. Notice this is the Queens Blvd branch. He has the wrong sign because he's supposed to be going Jamaica bound. And notice the Q1 doesn't carry as much as the Q27, Q88. Because Q27 feeds into downtown Flushing and services Queens Blvd Community College. Okay, although his sign is not up, but this is the real Q1, the Q1 out of Belrose. Yeah, now it's up, it's up going to Jamaica. The reason why I call this the real Q1 because it runs Braddock Avenue, distinguishes itself from the Springfield Boulevard service, as well as, you know, really all the Q1 should be terminating here.
because this line, Burdick Avenue needs more service in comparison to Springfield Boulevard. The Q1 is a busier line than it appears, but these branches kind of destroyed the service. The only issue in this part of Queens is trying to connect with the J line, as most of the buses connect with the F. Okay, this is the Q36 departing the Rego Park terminal, which is this full-time terminal, not the Little Neck Parkway service, which is a weekday-only service. People use this in the N24 to connect with the F train in Jamaica. If they want the J train, they have to switch to another bus, or they have to take to go to Sutphin between the 43, or they have to take either the Q24, 54, or 56 at 165th Street Terminal. This is the Q43 terminal. People here sometimes depend on night bus N22 because it's a faster link to the F train. But this is a vital line if you go into the J train. Or if you need the Q44 bus, you'll catch you probably at Sutphin and Hillside. That's going to the Bronx. But then if you have unlimited, you may want to use the Q76 to Whitestone. That'll speed things up if it's a time transfer. Nice bus, N25 like Rosedale or even the Rock Place. So they connect them with Nassau County for the bus connection. But as far as this line, trying to access, mainly to access to someone trying to access the grid zone. Because this line doesn't connect to the because it's like you have to tell passengers. If they're coming from Brooklyn, ride the J to Jamaica Center, and then take Buck, and then Google their way here the rest of the way. And then going to the Bronx, you need a time travel to the Q76, so you can catch the 44 at 14th Avenue, right by the bridge.